Hello, everybody. Welcome to the very first Monolith Mondays. My name is Megan. I'm the marketing manager here at Monolith Forensics. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up our first Monolith team member who's going to be presenting a feature for us today. So let me bring Joey up one moment. And while we're waiting for Joey to get everything set up on his end, we'll give his attendees a chance to trickle in. All right. Welcome, everybody. There's a Joey. There he is, the man himself.
Morning, all.
All right, cool. So basically, how Monolith Mondays works is every week on Monday at 10 a.m. Central, we're going to have one of our Monolith team members walk through a feature live for you. So if you have questions, we're going to save time for Q&A. So go ahead and put them in the chat, put them in the Q&A. If you'd like to come on and ask questions live over microphone, we'll let you do that as well. Just save your questions for the end. And in the meantime, I'll hand it over to Joey to get things started for us.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It's like Megan said, we'll be doing a series of these every Monday morning to kind of just highlight some of the different tabs within Monolith, maybe give you a little insight on a little special tool or something. And today, I'm just going to go over something basic for you and why the need is so big when it comes to filling out your forensic software part of your Monolith tenant. So please let me know if you have any questions. I tend to monologue and go on. And then I think maybe at the end, if this doesn't take too long going through the software side, because it's really a quick feature, we'll go over something maybe, and I'll just pick something out of the air. We'll go from there. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen here with you. And everybody knows how Monolith works. You guys are pretty much involved in using this daily. So, in the morning, you'll have your normal dashboard. But over here on the left-hand side, under lab management is your forensic software. Now, there's a few reasons why you should do this. Oh, excuse me, kick me out. Let me make sure I get back into this. Always happens when you're trying to do a live presentation. I apologize. So we'll go down to forensic software here. There's a few reasons you want to fill this out because A, it generates your drop downs during your acquisition for the software you're utilizing when you're ever doing any kind of acquisition. The second part of this is you can also set up reminders. Monolith will remind you when a software comes due 90, 60, 30, 7, and 1 days prior to expiration. This is important. One of the things you don't want to do, and it happens a lot, is you go to plug in a device and then you come to realize your subscription has expired, and then you got to call the company, and typically you get a large bill, something you did not put into your budget for the following year. So one of the good things is you can actually see when they're expiring, when you purchased it, what software it is, how much you paid for it, and then year over year cost that you're going forward. Okay. And it's very easy to do. You just, any of your tabs, just hit the little blue button here. And you can type in something new here. I'm going to do ADF mobile device. Oops. And hopefully your spelling is better than mine. So we can do that here. And then we'll just say ADF. Boom, that's the software. License name, Joey's laptop, or Tony's laptop. Up there. Ignition, you can put a value in here if you want. Your expiration purchase date, we could say today. Expiration date is next year. There you go. Cost value, that's roughly, I believe it's like $2,900 for the software. And then your key, if you want to put it in there and such, and description, location. I can put this on Tony's laptop. Oh, and add the software. Okay. There's a few things you can do in here. You can add filters. Like I said, you can filter by purchase date, expiration date, location. You can move these different tabs. This might be a feature you guys didn't realize throughout Monolith database. But if there's something that is more important to you that you wanted up front, you can actually push these right to left and such. And then you can enable the different um, fields you want to show, the different columns. Okay. So if I took off a bunch of these here, we can lower it down. It just changes my view. And you can also do some coloring here. So to add the feature here, like I said, add the filter, see what you're looking for, expiration date, print your report out. Hey, I got these softwares coming due in the next few months. Now, the secondary reason I told you this is important to do, other than just reminding you that it's coming up and what kind of software you have utilizing your lab, is if you're in a case itself, say I have a little search word here in alpha, so there's another little feature of Monolith there, and I can go into this and I can look at an acquisition software or what I'm doing on this case on any kind of evidence items. So you can choose your evidence items, but the big one is your dropdown. And this is what I was telling you that is going to generate this field when you're doing your acquisitions. You load it in your forensic software, it gives you the dropdown ability within your acquisitions. So I'm going to pause right there. Did anybody have any questions or anything that we can answer in the chat?
I don't have any questions from attendees yet. I had a quick question for you. On the forensic software tracking page, there was a field for SMS. Do you mind quickly walking through what that is and what it's for?
Sure. Let me not stop my video, share my screen again. Go back down to it. Oh, excuse me. Oh, sorry, I'm not sharing the screen yet. Hold on for just a minute. Why is this pain? Pain. Okay, it's not letting me share the screen. Hold on for a minute. Can you see that now, Megan?
Sure can.
Okay, there you go. The SMS, you can set up those in variables, how many times you want it to run through on your reminders and such.
All right, cool. Someone in the chat is saying you might want to zoom in on the browser a little bit.
Okay, I apologize about that. Come on. Go. Is that a little bit better?
Yeah, it's great for the blind. I resemble that remark. So, speaking for other
Well,
blind
me
people
too.
who may
No,
be
me too.
attending.
But that's the basis of our forensic software and why it's important within Monolith on the drop downs and such and on your acquisitions.
All right, cool.
Here. Thanks, Matt, for that on the uh, zooming in. Scott, yeah, thank you for the hat we always get. We're not going back to that brewery this year, but we do have some great things planned for Techno and Myrtle. So please, if you guys are there, please come and visit. So I know this took only a little bit of time to kind of go over the software when it comes to Monolith, but I did want to kind of go over Relay. Um, I love the application. It's great, especially when you're submitting to the lab and trying to bump up your efficiency on pulling, kind of requests from the field so you guys can actually track this and such. Um, Monolith and Relay are highly customizable. Okay. So one of the best parts in your forensic software, if you go down to the bottom in your settings, you can customize Relay with a couple different things. Your instructions, this is a big one. You want people to follow a process when submitting to your lab so they're getting that muscle memory. And at least I understand most people are not going to read the instructions when they submit into your lab, but at least you have something to refer back to when they forget a relevant document, such as your search authority or something like that. So you can literally change these right now. I can put a little tag in here. Hey, Monolith Mondays. And then as I go back into my relay, I can go to submit a request, and that's going to update right away. So it's real world, real time. As you change in these, it's going to change on that side for you. There's a couple other customizable features in Relay also on your inquiries or your evidence fields. You can create a custom field for whatever you like, from dates. If there's a specific analytic or metric you want to track, you can create that here. Just create it what you want. My field. Is it required? I always say yes. Some people say no. I get kind of variants back and forth. People are like, no, I don't want to make them do it. But if it's something you want to track, you want them to fill this field out. So you can do a text box. You can leave it the associated types blank, and it's going to assign it for all of your different types. So we create the field, and then you can just go into relay settings here, go to custom fields, and then you can just enable it as you're going. Okay, there's my field, enable it. And then, as I said, if you go back over to submit a request, once you get into that evidence field, it is there and it requires them to do it. Okay, so that was kind of my little bonus feature when it comes to the customization of relay outside of the acquisition side of things. Any questions on that, guys?
We had a question come in about forensic software tracking. If anybody has questions about that or Relay, go ahead and put them in the chat,
Yeah.
or raise your hand and I'll let you come on and ask it live. The question we had in the chat was, for the forensic software data, is there a way to export into a CSV or PDF report for an audit?
Well, you can export this table via an Excel spreadsheet if you like. So, okay. So whether you put a filter on it, what you need, things like that, just a little export button here will work. Did that answer your question? Does that work?
Waiting for them to reply in the chat. Something about the export too, though. Does it only export the columns that you have selected, or will it export everything?
It'll spit out whatever's on your filter.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Says yes, that does answer their question. We had another question come in.
Is
Uh,
relay? Okay, yeah, I saw that too. Relay can be used for internal or external requests from clients. It really depends on what you're doing in your lab. We have some, e-discovery incident response groups that it's all internal using relay and it's submitting tickets.
all right, cool. Follow-up question to that: how do external clients access Relay?
Well, you in your relay settings here, if you go to relay, you actually have your slug here that you can send it. Now, we typically when we train, we tell them not to send this out because an administrator is going to have to sit here and either approve access or revoke access depending on this coming through. If you want specific people with internally, you can invite user here, and it'll do it one by one. Okay, and then they'll have access automatically to relay.
All right, cool. Anybody else have any other questions? Don't see any popping up. Anyone? Anyone?
Told you
I
these were very quick. We're going to be doing these every Monday, and there'll be a new presenter each Monday from Monolith, kind of going over a specific aspect of the platform itself, whether it's in Relay or Monolith. With me, this was the opening one, so I'm the guinea pig on this lesson, and I get to show you just the forensic software. I got to choose that one right out the gate, and then I just highlighted Relay a little bit for you. So if you have any questions, we're always available to you guys. If it's a support question, very easy, support at monolithforensics.com. If you have a feature request you would like to see in our platform, feature.request at monolith, features-request at monolithforensics.com. And you can, suggest something to us. If we see it and we're hearing it over and over again, it goes on the engineering board, starts moving its way up. Okay, that's one of the great ways to get a hold of us. We also have a Discord channel. If you guys like that off camera, we can get that on over to you. It has a pool of customers of ours that will actually respond to some questions faster than we do sometimes. And then, of course, you always have the availability to reach directly out to me. Majority of you guys know me, so please reach out.
Alrighty. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Joey, for presenting today. And we'll be back next week with Andrew presenting on evidence items. So hope to see you guys all next week. Thanks, everybody.